Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to drboycetv.com, the home for intelligent Black people. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. Come on in. As you come in, let me know if you can hear me okay. Give me a yes if I'm coming through all right. Also, please hit that thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe. Just a reminder, this podcast is also on Spotify and Apple. So if you look up Boyce Watkins on Spotify or Apple, you can find the podcast there. Anyway, so Byron Allen is making some major moves, and I thought it was worth kind of assessing some of what Byron Allen is doing. Now, to give you the short version of it, according to Bloomberg, Byron Allen has offered $10 billion to buy ABC and some other networks. Because you don't know, Disney's having some financial trouble, and they're looking to offload some of these assets, which some deem to be a bit unnecessary, and Allen is lining up as one of the bidders to try to take ownership of ABC. By the way, really quick, my name is Corey Analyst Sharif Smith. Let me know if y'all can hear me. Can y'all give me a quick yes in the chat if I'm coming through all right? I'm doing this via audio because I can't quite get to my desk right now. So let me know if you can hear it okay. Also, I want to remind everybody that we have just a few more vendor tables available at the All Black National Convention for this year. It's going to be October 20th in Atlanta. And you can go to allblacknationalconvention.com if you're B1 and you'd like to be a part of this amazing event. We had billionaire Mike Roberts there last year. The chairman of the Air Jordan brand, Larry Miller, was there last year. We have a lot of other great people there, and it's just amazing. It's a great big family reunion. You're going to love it. It's a great place for networking. All right, so thank you for the yeses, Sharif and Fred and Kirk. I see you. And everybody says they can hear me. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. All right, so Byron Allen. I assume you guys know who Byron Allen is. He is a guy who has done a great job of building what is known as the Allen Media Group. And the Allen Media Group owns a lot of different media assets with a lot of different TV stations and things like that. And according to Bloomberg, Allen just offered $10 billion to the Walt Disney Company for the acquisition of ABC. Now, Miss Gang is asking about BET. Paramount, who also is having financial problems. A lot of these companies, Disney, Paramount, etc., they're all struggling because they made these crazy mistakes when it came to streaming. They saw this amazing opportunity to make that Netflix money by offering streaming services, and they made a mistake that I actually identified 5 years ago where they were overspending. It made no sense that they were overspending at the level they were spending. I saw Netflix go borrow $14 billion to make content. And I remember thinking, if you're making $2 billion a month from subscriber revenues, why do you need to borrow so much money to make new content? So I felt that they were overpaying. Now, by the way, if you have questions in the chat, I'm not ignoring your questions. I just can't. I have to focus on the topic. So y'all gonna trigger my ADHD up in here. Y'all gonna trigger my ADHD. Anyway, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe. So it says, according to the report, Disney offered a statement explaining it's considering strategic options for its traditional TV networks. However, no decisions have been made regarding a sale or any deals. Byron Allen, let's see, he was rumored to be in a bidding war for majority ownership in BET. Which included VH1 and VH1 and BET. Paramount, the current owner, canceled the sale, explaining it quote wouldn't result in any meaningful deleveraging of the balance sheet. So that's their way of saying it wouldn't be enough money to kill our massive amount of debt. These companies are in extreme debt, and I'm actually going to get to that. That's going to be the financial lesson for today to kind of talk about debt and why a guy like a Byron Allen can do things that a lot of you and I can't do, right? A lot of us can't go and borrow $10 billion from the bank. We don't have a syndicate of investors that will give us $10 billion. So when you talk about things like reparations and economic inequality, one of the challenges with economic inequality is that Black people don't have the resources to fund their ideas the way white people do, right? Byron Allen's unique, not because he's bidding $10 billion to buy Disney. There are a lot of white guys who can do that. There are a ton of white guys. If Elon Musk wanted to go buy Disney, or not Disney, I'm sorry, ABC, he could do that. He wouldn't be using his money. He might use a little bit of it, but he'd be borrowing that money from the bank. And so, in fact, I would ask you all right now, if you had access to $1 billion to go start a school system, how many of y'all could do it? Give me a yes in the chat if you think you could start a school system for Black kids, if you could get $1 billion in funding for your idea. Give me a yes in the chat if you think that you can run BET better than Sumner Redstone's family ran BET. And the Paramount Pictures folks. How many of you think? Give me a yes if you think that if I loaned you two or three, four, $5 billion to go buy BET, you'd be able to make that into a profitable entity and still make it beneficial to the community. Give me a yes. Right. So a lot of you, give me a yes in the chat if you have a small black-owned business that could be, that could create 10,000 jobs if you could go borrow $100 million from the bank tomorrow. Give me a yes in the chat. And I'm asking this question. I like to ask simple questions to make simple points. But the thing is that these simple questions that make simple points, they lead to extraordinary insights into, what would be revolutionary in terms of changing our economic condition. One of the biggest problems that we have in the Black community is access to capital. It's not just income, it's not just wealth. I mean, all those things play a part in the process. It's not jobs. Think about this. When they want to help Black people, they offer you jobs. If I don't want more jobs. I want capital, because people with capital can create their own jobs. If you have capital, then you're not looking for a job. There's nobody. Byron Allen ain't looking for a job from nobody. Y'all go to Byron and say, "Hey, Byron, man, hey, man, yo, I heard they hiring over at the post office, man. They got a government program where they hiring at the post office, man. You want to come over here and get this job?" What do you think Byron would do if I offered him a job? He would laugh at me. Byron ain't looking for no job. Byron's looking for capital. He's looking for capital. And here's the thing. Here's the thing. I know a lot of guys and a lot of women who are just as bright as this guy. Byron's a smart man. Don't get me wrong. He's a very smart man. I have so much respect for him. I mean, it's an enormous amount of respect. But you really think, I mean, I want y'all to really think about this. You really think Byron Allen's the only Black person in the entire country who could run a TV network? Do you really think that he's the only guy out here that could run a business successfully? No, he's not. He's not. I just got off. I did a one-on-one consultation with a brother. His name was Harold Chisholm. Harold Chisholm was running his business by me. He got second in our pitch competition for our last event, our Black Wealth Training Camp that we did in Los Angeles. And I sat down with Harold not 20 minutes ago, and Harold pitched me his business. I'm not going to share his business idea because it's private, but it was an amazing, amazing business idea. And he was uniquely qualified to run this business. And I have no doubt in my mind that that he's going to be successful in this business. Here's the problem that Harold runs into, and there's a million Harolds out here. There's a million female Harolds out here. The problem that he's probably going to run into is that once he nails his good idea, he's going to have trouble getting the capital that he needs to maintain the business. Or you start a Black-owned business, you got to operate with a razor-thin margin of error, because if you mess up, you go broke. Do you understand? Do you understand the difference? I need y'all to understand. I need you to process this with me for a moment. Process the difference between a business owner who makes a mistake, who's literally living hand to mouth, where in January he needs to make enough money to make February payroll. Think about this. This is the Black business owner. This is what y'all dealing with. I know y'all, because in the Black business school, we have 156,000 students, and I built that school with my bare hands, and we built it hand to mouth, right? So the Black business owner is literally having to make enough money in January to make his payroll for February, whereas you have white businesses that literally can lose money for 5 straight years. 5 straight years. I don't even know if Uber is profitable yet. And the reason they can go out and grow and conquer the world and continuously think about this, they have the luxury. We're talking about white privilege. White folks have the luxury of having a hiring spree while they're losing money. Black people can't do that, and it's because of access to capital. So what Byron has, and I congratulate him for this. There's no player haterology going on up in here. We don't do no haterology up in here. I don't hate Byron for his success. I'm happy for him. The only thing that bothers me about the Byron Allen situation is that there aren't 10,000 other Byron Allens that also have access to enough money to fulfill their dreams, because dreams cost money. Investment costs money. And Byron, he was lucky enough to get the $10 billion that he is using to make this bid for ABC. I'm hoping he's conscious. I don't know the man. I never met the man. I'm hopeful that he's extremely conscientious in not just hiring lots and lots of Black people, but mentoring Black people to take his place, but then also pouring some of those profits back into the Black community in a meaningful way, right? Your goal isn't just to be successful yourself. Your goal is to make 1,000 versions of yourself. And I'm assuming he's doing these things. So I'm not assuming he's not. So this is nothing negative, no shade to what he's doing. But it's really making this clear point that that he's seen rightfully so as a hero in the community because he's able to make these $10 billion bids for ABC. But I know for a fact that intelligent Black people, there are millions of you out here, or at least thousands of you, that if you had access to $10 billion and the ability to go borrow that from the bank, you also would be in a position to run a TV network in a very profitable way. I know people running Black-owned TV networks literally with the money they make from their paycheck, and their profit margins are through the roof. Through the roof. They just can't get the funding they need to expand. So when they start talking about reparations and what Black people deserve and what Black people need, I need you to give me a yes if you agree with me that we need to also talk about access to capital, access to capital, access to capital. That means that not just these billion-dollar bids for corporations. I'm talking about just a Black person going into a damn bank and being able to borrow $400,000 to buy a house. Just the ability of a Black business owner to be able to get a $150,000 line of credit so they don't have to fire everybody because they had a bad month. That's what I'm talking about when I say access to capital. Give me a yes if you understand what I'm saying. Give me a yes if that statement makes sense to you. All right, so anyway, do me a favor. Please hit the thumbs up button. Thumbs up, share, subscribe. You're watching drboycetv.com, the home for intelligent Black people. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. My PhD is in finance. I've taught at the University of Kentucky, Indiana University, Syracuse University, and also I've taught in China, Europe, and Africa, and all around the world. So that's why I share my perspectives on finance, because I'm hoping that it helps somebody. Also, in addition to that, my website is boycewatkins.com. So if you'd like to go there to my website, there's plenty of free resources there. There's the $5 a day investing plan that's there. There's also a training on how to make money without working. That's also there if you'd like to go take a look at that. And in addition to that, we got tired of dealing with Facebook and YouTube and these crazy social media platforms. So we have a social media platform that is ours called Black Enough. And so if you're Black enough, come to Black Enough, and it's spelled BLAGGENUF.com, BLAGGENUF.com. And there are over 50,000 of you on that network. And we built it because we wanted to get away from the chaos of the internet, all the chatty patty gossip and attacks and nonsense on the internet, on YouTube, and move toward a more mature space that's peaceful, productive, and pro-Black, and also has freedom of speech. That's extremely important. So you have to apply. You have to fill out the questionnaire. It's very, very short, but we need to make sure that we're letting the right people in. And you get over acting crazy, we are going to put you out of there. So that's just the honest to God truth. All right, so let's see. Ellen Stewart says, I was astounded by Amazon's ability to stay in business for years as a company operating in the red. Jeff Bezos could do that because he had access to capital. Exactly. You have no idea, man, how many businesses, great American companies worth damn near $1 trillion, had periods of time where if they had been Black, they would have never came back. Walmart. You go listen to, there's a podcast I like called Business Wars. And in this podcast, they were telling the story of Walmart. Sam Walton, when he started Walmart, he was so desperate for funding, he had to beg his bank for another 1.5 million. They'd already gave him 2 million. Talk about white privilege. White Black people can't, it's very hard for a Black man to get $2 million in debt. I don't know many Black people that have $2 million in debt that they can use to apply to their business, or $2 million in debt who are getting clowned as failures and losers because they're so deep in debt, right? This just tells you the difference in terms of economic thinking. But Sam Walton had gotten $2 million from this bank, and that was just one bank. That wasn't all the banks he borrowed from. He went to them and said, I need another 1.5 million or I cannot function next month. So think about this. You already 2 million in debt. He's calling them expecting to get 1.5 million to keep going, not to become profitable, not to change the world, just to keep going. And the bank said no. He then gets on his little airplane. He had a little turboprop. I guess he had a pilot's license. I'm getting my pilot's license too. And he got on his plane. He flew to the bank in Dallas and walked in and said, please give me the money. Please, please, please. They said no. He called a buddy at another bank. The buddy at the other bank in New Orleans said, I got your 1.5 million. Just get here by 4 o'clock. He got on his little turboprop plane, flew to New Orleans, and got the 1.5 million that he needed to stay in business. Now, y'all tell me, give me a yes or no. Yes or no. Do you think that Sam Walton would have been able to keep Walmart alive in that very same situation if he had been a black man? If Sam Walton had been a black man under typical black man circumstances, do you think that he would have been able to be 2 million in debt and then have the bank give him another 1.5 million just so his little business, pretty unprofitable business with razor thin margins, could survive a few more months? I hope your answer is no, because if your answer is yes, then you and I do not live on the same planet. If your answer is yes, then we're not the same. We don't understand each other at all, because based on everything I know about economics and finance, and I know a lot, black people don't get those same opportunities to access capital that white people do. This is what gives them an advantage in the game. This is why the economic race, when they talk about the racial wealth gap, they always talk about jobs and income. No, your smartest and best and brightest can't do what they do. They can't do what God put them on this earth to do, because they can't even get the 10 million, 20 million, 50 million, 100 million that they need just to get things moving. And then if they get it, they got to be abnormously, insanely profitable, or they'll start getting attacked and clowned, and people will tell them that their business needs to die and all this other stuff. But Sam Walton was 2 million in debt and losing, and somebody still gave him another 1.5 million. As a result, all of Sam Walton's kids, every single one of his children, is a multi-billionaire. Did y'all know that? Every single child of Sam Walton is, I believe, in the top 20 richest people in America. Every one of his kids. And he got a lot of kids. So this access to capital issue is something that doesn't get discussed enough. But I think it's important to talk about, because I wanted to bring it, and I decided to bring it up with the Byron Allen thing, because I know that we're excited that he made the $10 billion bid for ABC. I'm excited too. I hope he gets it. I hope he gets 10 networks. I hope he gets everything that he wants. I like the guy. Based on what I see from a distance, he seems likable. I've never met him, but I wish him nothing but the best. The only thing that I wish were true was that there were other black men and black women who could also get their little, not even 10 billion, maybe 100 million, maybe 50 million. But 10 billion, because that 10 billion is not his money. That 10 billion is coming from some investor, some bank, some syndicate, somebody else is giving him that money. Do you understand? Okay. Anyway, hit the thumbs up button. Thumbs up, share, subscribe. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. You're watching drboycetv.com, the home for intelligent black people. We also run the Black Business School, where we have 156,000 students around the world. Most of them pay less than $500 a year, but their education is 10 times better than anything you ever learned in college, because we focus solely on a powernomics philosophy. That means black wealth, that means business ownership, investing for children. We're also very family oriented. We believe deeply in the black family as a key to building black wealth. And so these are our values. And so if that's of interest to you, and you want to get started, feel free to go to Black Money 101. We have a Black Money sequence, 101 through 106. You can start at blackmoney101.com. We deeply discounted that program, so you and your family can get started, and you can do it like a Netflix membership. You can share it with all your kids and your baby mama if you want to. That's fine. We just want to make sure the whole community learns, and we also want to raise enough money to keep on building, because we can't go to the bank and get $10 billion. But believe me, if that day ever came, just know if I get 10 billion, I'm changing the whole black community. I kid you not. Somebody loan me even 1 billion, I could change the whole black community with $1 billion. Like it would be easy for me to do. But then I have a PhD in this stuff, so I understand exactly what the problems are. And I think that this is one of the reasons why I talk to you guys so much, because one of the problems is culture. And I know that to change culture and to change habits, you have to hear the same message repeatedly over and over and over and over and over and over again. I have to be as repetitive as every rapper on this earth who's repeatedly saying, shake your booty and kill your brother and get on drugs. As much as they're repeating their message, I got to repeat mine with wealth, family, black love, black strength, black intelligence, raise your damn kids. Let's work hard, all these things. So that's one of the reasons why I can repeat this until the day I die, and I'll even repeat it from the grave because I've already instructed my team to continue to serve this message even after I'm gone. So hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe. This podcast is also on Spotify and Apple, so you can look for my name on Spotify and Apple. And if you want to get profit alerts where I send out stocks that I like, you can feel free to text the word stock to 31996. Text stock to 31996. All right, so let me finish up here, guys. All right, so according to this article where Byron Allen's bidding $10 billion to own ABC, it says here that according to the AMG website, Allen currently owns 36 ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox network affiliate broadcast television stations in 21 markets and 12 24-hour HD television networks serving 220 million subscribers. Most recently, in the summer of 2022, Allen acquired the Black News Channel, saving the network from bankruptcy for $11 million from Jacksonville Jaguars owner, a billionaire Shad Khan. Quote, we are excited to have been selected to acquire the Black News Channel, which has approximately 300 million linear and digital subscribers, Byron Allen said in a statement prepared by AMG. Allen Media Group will deliver a best-in-class network to serve the underserved African-American community and the advertisers who want to reach this incredibly valuable audience. So it seems to me that Byron's play, for the most part, is, get the financing, acquire the networks, make content that's clearly connected to a certain lines of products and certain audience bases, and then go back to the advertisers and sell these packages to the advertisers and make a profit doing it. It seems to me like he's doing a great job with this, and I applaud that. I think his success is extraordinary and remarkable. I'm super proud of him. And my dream is not just to see Byron Allen do well, because I don't really care so much about individual success. My dream is to see us do well collectively as a system. So what I'd like to see in the next generation is for there to be thousands and thousands and thousands of Black men and Black women who can also go out and borrow 10 million, 50 million, 100 million, $1 billion to really expand on what they're doing. So when you get to the point where they start saying, what do we want for reparations? I don't want us just talking about government programs that are going to be run by other people where they keep the money and they just sort of deliver to you whatever they want to give you. I don't want to see more money invested in poorly run public schools that are already miseducating our kids. I don't necessarily want to see all the money put into creating jobs for Black people just so you can work and build wealth for other people. I want to see some of that money going toward building Black businesses. I want to see some of that money going toward access to capital so that our leaders and champions can get the capital they need to visualize their dreams. A school for Black kids, in my view, should be funded and run by Black people because that's where the best educational outcomes exist. Schools like Freedom Home Academy International, the Muhammad University of Islam, and many other schools, the school run by King Randall down in Georgia. All these schools do a better job, a 10 times better job of educating Black kids than a lot of these schools being run by people who are not Black. Why does that surprise you? I don't know why that would surprise you, because Black people relate to Black teachers more than they relate to non-Black teachers. Surprise, that's not a big deal. However, the problem is the reason it surprises people is because we have been indoctrinated to believe that only white people should be running the businesses, or that only white people should be running the schools, or that only white people should be managing the resources, and we should just get whatever they decide to give to us in order to do a job to help their institutions get stronger. So one of the biggest problems that you have, and one of the problems we're going to solve in this generation, it's going to take a long time. I wrote about it in my book, It Takes a Village to Raise the Bar, a New Paradigm for Black America. I mentioned the year 2070. I gave us till the year 2070 to really flip this thing on its head. So it's going to take another 47 years, in my view, for us to really get to where I believe we're going to be. I believe that by the year 2070, that the children and grandchildren of B1 people, you're going to have thousands of Byron Allens. Doing what Byron is doing by the year 2070 won't be such a big deal because there'll be 50, 100 other Black people out here doing the same thing. And also, so remember this too. There are many, many, many Black people that are running $100 million, $500 million companies out here that you never know about, that you never hear about, because all you hear kind of are about people associated with entertainment. You hear about your athletes and your rappers and all that. Well, you don't know how many people, quiet as kept, running like I'm talking about $1 billion companies that are doing things that are flashy, that are not media every day because they're not out bragging about what they're doing. They're actually doing it. And so these are the quality people that I'd like for my kids to be exposed to, and I want you to be exposed to them too. I've been talking to a guy who I forgot the name of his group that he has, but we were talking a little bit on Instagram about me helping to expose some of the Black millionaires and billionaires that he's highlighting on his platform, because I think this is the message that our kids need to see beyond just seeing rappers and athletes and all that other stuff. Honestly, I'm kind of tired of that. We got that down. We know how to rap. We know how to dribble basketball. We can throw a football. All this. Coach Prime, God bless him, great coach. I love all of that. But at some point, I want those hard working people who are building institutions brick by brick to get just as much success, or excuse me, just as much celebration as the flashy entertainers, because there's going to be those brick by brick people, those people that are quietly chugging along and quietly developing infrastructure. Those are the ones that are going to give you your community back. Those are the ones who are going to build what you need. Right. So anyway, that's my 2 cents. That's what I believe. And that's why we hold our convention for intelligent Black people, which, by the way, it's called the All Black National Convention. It's going to be in Atlanta, October 20th through the 22nd. You can go to allblacknationalconvention.com. You can come as a visitor. You can also be or as a guest. You can also be a vendor and make money there if you have a Black-owned business. We have a few vendor spots available. They're almost running out. Well, also, the discount hotels are almost out. So you may want to go ahead and book your ticket now. And in addition to that, if you want to also get profit alerts from me sent to you via text, then text the word stock to 31996. Just text stock to 31996. And and by the way, I forgot to mention too, Dr. Christina Parks is joining us in the Black Business School to do a course related around health. Now, remember, I told you guys that health is wealth, but the difference is that health is more important than wealth. Because if you lose your health, you're going to have to spend all your wealth getting your health back. So Dr. Christina Parks, in case you don't know her, she went super, super viral because she gave that amazing testimony for the Michigan House of Representatives. If y'all remember, during the pandemic, and she didn't just talk about what those jabs Black children, and everybody was so impressed that she thought about Black people when she was in front of this crowd. And I think that it's kind of sad that we get excited when somebody doesn't forget about us or somebody actually cares about us. And so anyway, Dr. Parks, if you want to know her background, she has a PhD in cellular and molecular biology. And she's deeply obsessed with helping us to deal with all the health ailments that are hitting our community, all the cancer. I don't know if anybody else has cancer in their family. It's been all over my family. There's so many things happening to our community health-wise. And so she decided to come in and do a class in the Black Business School on health because we know that health is more important than wealth. So if you'd like to take a look at what she's doing, she starts this week, I think on Thursday night. Just go to blackhealthsecrets.com. That's blackhealthsecrets.com. Or if you have any questions about anything in the Black Business School, you can email support@theblackbusinessschool.com. We have a great support team. That's support@theblackbusinessschool.com. So thank you all for letting me get that out. And I hope you guys will consider bringing your family to the Black Business School. We're developing and working hard in the trenches every day. And I appreciate all of you that are on this journey with us. So God bless you guys. And again, congratulations to Byron Allen. I hope that they give you ABC. I listened to a whole book called Disney Wars, where Disney, who owns ABC, they fight like cats and dogs. I mean, y'all think Black people fight? You ought to see rich white people because they crazy too. So anyway, I'm out of here, guys. Hit that thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell before you head out. And I'm going to check back in with you guys a little bit later. My wife is actually on flynubianqueentv.com a little bit later on today with Dr. Brittany Henry doing some therapeutic analysis on the Black church. And I'll try to share some of those clips with you. And I'll also try to find some way to send you guys the link. So take care. Have a great day. I'll talk to you soon. Peace.
Here we are, clan the isms, cataclysm, great. Our people out here struggling, trying to make it in this state. Everybody out here doing it, but we the ones too late. Now family, we the ones who gotta delegate. Get that money in the power, never be fake. Stick to cosign for 3. What did he say? Create jobs, support our own. Educate the same and buy back your home. Got 3 degrees, triple 10. 3 PhDs, now we on the CNN. DBTV, let's talk about negligence. Ignorance is bliss, but we can turn it to intelligence. Believe none of what you hear, half of what you see. Let's break it down here on Dr. Boyce TV. Here we are.